Right, Prime Minister hopeful Liz Truss and Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon have been involved in a very public war of words lately. It all started when Liz made these comments in a hustings last week. It's that phrase there, she's an attention seeker. Well, Nicola has since hit back, saying all Liz wanted to talk about when they met briefly last year was how she could get into Vogue, which Nicola had been in twice. Denise, what do you make of all of this?
Well, there was also a response that Nicola then posted a picture of a sea lion, saying, cute seal, I think she might be a bit of an attention seeker, so winky face. So it's gone two ways. To be honest, I wouldn't expect anything more of any of our politicians. I think that the fact that they now have freedom over social media has given them free rein to say what they like. I mean, if you think about it, ever since they started being able to televise the House of Commons, we have just seen the behaviour that goes on in there. It's so childlike, it's so juvenile, and it seems to me that politicians generally, rather than standing up and saying what they are going to do, it's all about putting the other team down, shouting them down, being vicious, being bitchy, being this, being that. But of course, because it's two women, it will be highlighted much more than when it's two men, because men do that all the time. If you look at the things that all of the cabinet was saying over the last 2 years on Twitter, it was very, very, very personal, but it wasn't picked up as much as this spat's going to be. So should they be doing it? No, probably not. Will they do it? Yes. And it doesn't surprise me at all.
You know, I'd heard about that comment, obviously, but I hadn't seen it.
Oh, had you not?
No, I hadn't actually seen the clip.
OK.
I found that really, really shocking.
Did you?
Yes, I do, because Liz Truss, for me now, has got a bit of a pattern of making terribly undiplomatic comments. I mean, she is, whatever you think of Nicola Sturgeon, and believe you me, I'm not a fan, she is democratically elected person. You can't, if you want to be the Prime Minister, you can't say, well, I'm just going to ignore that person. Do you remember when she was almost encouraging people to go and fight in Ukraine? Well, if you want to go, we would support you. That's incredibly dangerous language. She could have effectively, if enough people had just gone over to Ukraine, triggered World War III, because if a NATO country sends somebody in and then they fight, I mean, it's incredibly... And there's so many gaffes like that. But on another level, I think you're right, Denise, it's annoying because the men are very vicious with each other as well. But unfortunately, as women, we do have to be more vigilant.
Well, look
because
at this
you do
show.
leave yourself open to them saying, oh, look at two women...
Yeah, but you say leave yourself open to it. You can literally just be having a conversation.
We sit there,
No, but I'm talking about this particular thing.
Yeah.
Two women, you know, that should be highly respected. I think resorting to kind of bullying language. Think at school when they say, oh, just ignore her. I think it's really unsavoury.
But Leisha, I know that you've had these situations where they have pitted you against other women in the industry in a way that they wouldn't do the men.
Well, this is it. I feel like, I don't know what it is. I feel like men get something... They like it. They like when females are bickering and stuff. And I've been in something recently online where I was actually bantering. Like, 19-year-old me, I could literally say anything on Twitter. But nowadays, I feel like it's so much more... People just take and go with it even further. So, you know, I feel like... I don't know what it is, man, but I feel like, especially female rappers as well, they love to put us together and they love to, females going...
They did that with you and Nicki.
Yeah, they did that with me and Nicki.
There's a lot of beef with female rappers, isn't there?
I don't understand why. I genuinely don't think there is actual beef, like one-to-one, if we was to sit down, anybody. But I think it's the media really portrayed, like that perception of it. It makes people think, oh, gosh, maybe they are bickering or maybe they are, especially if you're not on
So you could be having
media.
a bit of banter, which maybe two male rappers could have quite easily.
100%.
And they'll jump on that and say it's a fight.
100%.
Like us here.
Yeah, and they do,
The other week, we were nearly wetting ourselves, weren't we, Charlene? Much as I'm sharing that with the nation. But we were, and suddenly, online, we were in a feisty row about flip-flops with Katie Piper.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, we were really...
fuming.
Practically at fisticuffs.